Imagine a quiet global revolution happening right under the nose of the mainstream financial media, a silent stampede where the world's most astute investors are moving their capital not towards the usual suspects like Bitcoin or tech stocks, but towards a tiny, unassuming piece of paper from a nation once synonymous with conflict. This isn't a speculative fantasy, this is the emerging reality of the Iraqi dinar. While the average person is distracted by the daily fluctuations of the Dow Jones and the latest crypto crash, a powerful undercurrent is pulling institutional money towards what many are calling the ultimate financial reset. The buzz is no longer confined to obscure online forums. It's in the hushed conversations of hedge fund managers, the strategic reallocations of sovereign wealth funds, and the calculated moves of high net worth individuals who have a proven track record of being early, not late, to the next big thing. The question you have to ask yourself right now is not whether this is happening, because the evidence of this accumulating interest is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore for anyone who knows where to look beyond the headlines. The real pressing question is, why is this happening with such urgency right now at this precise moment in history? The answer lies in a perfect storm of geopolitical, economic, and technical factors that are converging to create a launchpad for an event that has been anticipated for decades, the revaluation, or what's commonly referred to as the RV. For years, the narrative around the dinar was one of pure hope and patience, a long-term gamble on a nation's recovery. But today, that narrative has fundamentally shifted. It has evolved from a story of if to a tangible timeline of when. The patience is running out because the foundational blocks for a significant monetary reappraisal are not just being discussed in theoretical terms, they are being physically and legally put into place by the Iraqi government itself under intense and direct guidance from international financial bodies. This isn't about rumor mills, this is about concrete actions, about new banking legislation being passed, about international financial treaties being signed, and about the slow, deliberate dismantling of the economic walls that have kept the dinar's value artificially suppressed for so long. The Central Bank of Iraq is no longer a passive entity. It is actively engaging in monetary reforms that are prerequisites for a stable and internationally recognized currency. They are working to untangle the country from the strictures of Chapter V How, which have had a profound impact on its economic sovereignty. Every step they take towards financial normalization, every agreement they sign with the World Bank or the International Monetary Fund, is a deliberate step towards triggering the revaluation. This is the solid, factual bedrock upon which the current investor rush is being built. It's a calculated bet on the culmination of a 20-year process of nation building and economic restructuring, finally reaching its logical and financial conclusion. The smart money isn't gambling on whispers, it's investing in the clear, directional momentum of a national economy that is being deliberately and methodically prepared for reintegration into the global financial system. And once that reintegration is complete, the gates will open and the opportunity for the astronomical returns that early investors are positioning themselves for will have vanished, absorbed by the trillions of dollars of institutional capital that will flood in the moment the RV is officially announced. This is the final window of quiet before the storm of mainstream attention, and that is precisely why the rush is on right now. So what are these specific tangible signals that the sophisticated investors are monitoring so closely? The real-world catalysts that separate this moment from all the false alarms of the past. Let's move beyond the theoretical and dive into the heart. Empirical evidence that is fueling this unprecedented accumulation of dinar. The first and most critical pillar is the seismic shift happening within Iraq's banking infrastructure itself. For decades, the prospect of a revaluation was hindered by an opaque and fragile financial system, but that reality is being systematically dismantled. The Central Bank of Iraq has launched a relentless drive to modernize its payment systems, aggressively implementing international compliance standards like the SCUFT messaging system and anti-money laundering protocols. This isn't just bureaucratic box ticking, it's the essential plumbing required for the dinar to be taken seriously on the world stage. A currency cannot be internationally traded if the banks that hold it are not trusted, and right now, that trust is being built at a breakneck speed. The recent inclusion of several Iraqi banks into international financial networks is a deafening signal to those who understand finance. It's the equivalent of watching the final pieces of a launchpad being assembled. Secondly, observe the tectonic movements in Iraq's relationship with the United States and the International Monetary Fund. High-level economic dialogues, once focused solely on post-war reconstruction, have now pivoted decisively towards monetary policy and currency stability. The United States Treasury has a vested interest in a stable and prosperous Iraq, not just for geopolitical peace, because a stable Iraq means a stable currency that can settle its enormous oil exports in something other than US dollars, a move that would fundamentally rebalance global petrocurrency dynamics. The meetings are no longer about aid, they are about technical assistance for de-dollarization and monetary reform, a clear precursor to a sovereign currency revaluation. Furthermore, look at the ground-level economic data emerging from Iraq. The country is sitting on some of the world's largest proven oil reserves, and with oil prices consistently high, its foreign currency reserves are swelling to record levels. A nation's currency is fundamentally a claim on that nation's wealth and productivity, and Iraq's wealth, measured in black gold, is immense. This provides a colossal, tangible asset backing for the dinar that simply didn't exist in the same way a decade ago. The historic Chapter VA restrictions that crippled Iraq's economic autonomy have been largely lifted, freeing the nation to engage in global commerce and investment on its own terms. This is not a country on its knees. This is a resource-rich giant slowly standing up, and its currency is the most direct way to buy a stake in its ascent. The final and perhaps most compelling signal is the sheer volume of physical dinar being acquired by entities in the East, from wealthy Gulf states to Asian investment consortia. These are players with deep geopolitical insight and a long-term investment horizon. They aren't buying dinar for a quick flip. They are acquiring strategic positions in what they perceive as an inevitable financial realignment in the Middle East. They see the future of Iraq not as a war-torn nation, but as a future economic hub connecting East and West, and they are positioning their portfolios accordingly. When you see this combination, a modernizing banking sector, high-level international monetary cooperation, massive commodity-backed wealth, and strategic accumulation by savvy regional investors, you are no longer looking at speculation. You are looking at the convergence of multiple, independent data points all pointing towards the same inevitable conclusion. The foundation has been poured, the walls are going up, and the roof is being set in place. The RV is not a matter of random chance. It is the logical endpoint of a meticulously executed economic plan that is now entering its final, most critical phase. Now, understanding the immense potential that stands before us, the critical and most personal question becomes, what does this mean for you, sitting at home, watching this screen? This is the moment where knowledge must transform into decisive action. Because history has shown us time and again that generational wealth is never created by following the crowd. It is seized by those with the foresight to act before the crowd even knows where to look. The information you now possess is the key, but it is useless if it remains mere information. The global investors we discussed are not waiting for a headline on CNN or Bloomberg to confirm what they already know. They are acting now, quietly and consistently accumulating their positions, which means with every passing day, with every million dinars they acquire, the window of opportunity for the average person to get in at the ground floor gets just a little bit smaller. Think of this not as a risk, but as a strategic positioning. You are being presented with a unique, non-recurring alignment of circumstances where a sovereign national currency, backed by colossal natural resources and undergoing an internationally supported structural transformation, is available at a fraction of its perceived future value. This is the fundamental definition of an asymmetric investment opportunity, a scenario where the potential upside is exponentially greater than the downside. The downside is limited to the relatively small amount of capital you allocate, while the upside represents a life-altering financial shift. This is not about putting your life savings on the line. This is about having the strategic wisdom to allocate a portion of your capital into an asset that has the proven, tangible potential to redefine your family's future for generations. Imagine the regret of inaction. Imagine watching from the sidelines as this financial event unfolds, as the revaluation is announced, and knowing that you had the information. You understood the logic, but you hesitated. The fear of being wrong is temporary, but the regret of missing out is permanent. Let me be unequivocally clear. The path to financial freedom is never crowded at the beginning. It is always a path walked by a minority, by those who dare to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. The revaluation of the Iraqi dinar is not a matter of hope. It is a matter of economic inevitability driven by irrefutable global forces. Iraq will rejoin the global economy as a full and respected member, and its currency will reflect that status. The only variable is your position when that historic day arrives. Will you be a spectator or will you be a participant? The time for passive learning is over. The time for active, empowered decision-making is now. This is your call to action. This is your moment to step into a different financial reality. Do not let this information simply fade away as another video you watched. Let it be the catalyst that changes everything. The next step is yours, and it is the most important one you will take. Seize this moment. And now here is your final crucial call to action. Do not let this momentum fade. What you do in the next 10 minutes will determine whether this remains just an interesting idea or becomes the most profitable decision you have ever made. I want you to open a new browser tab right now. Go to your trusted currency dealer, the one you have researched and know is reputable. If you don't have one, pause this video and find one, read the reviews, check their ratings, then make that purchase. Acquire your position in the Iraqi Dinar. Do not wait for a better time. The best time was yesterday, the second best time is right now, at this very moment. This is not just a suggestion. This is an urgent imperative for your financial future. Click out of this video, open that tab, and complete your transaction. Then, and only then, will you have transformed knowledge into power and potential into tangible reality. The global investors are not waiting, and neither should you. Go now, make it happen.